This is Nightline. Tonight, Karen Reed back in court. Accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend with her SUV and leaving him to die in the snow.
I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
Free Karen Reed!
The latest twist in the explosive legal saga dividing a community. Could two key defense witnesses be barred from testifying at her retrial? Plus, finding my father.
This trip is something I've wanted to do for my whole life.
The son of Superman. ABC News correspondent Will Reeve retracing the steps of his legendary father on what was his final adventure.
Let's go over and see him, see how he's been doing.
Just weeks before the accident that left him paralyzed. Now, 30 years later, Will's emotional journey to touch those same gray whales of Mexico. What he discovered about his father along the way. And HOTTOMG, Chapel Roan's hot-to-go outfit fetches big bucks to benefit people affected by the LA wildfires. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, it's the murder case that divided the greater Boston community. Karen Reed, the girlfriend of local police officer John O'Keefe, accused of killing him after a night out. Now, as her legal team prepares for a retrial, two of their star witnesses under fire from prosecutors. Here's ABC's Matt Gutman.
Today, Karen Reed back in court. It's the case that captivated the country for more than 2 years. The former professor accused of hitting her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, with her SUV, leaving him to die in the snow. And today's high-stakes hearing could have profound impacts on her upcoming retrial.
Are you worried that your defense will be removed?
Of course I'd be worried to lose any member of my defense team.
At question, her lawyer's handling of witnesses.
We know that we are getting a fraction of the story.
The prosecution has submitted what they say was an undisclosed invoice for nearly $24,000 from two expert witnesses to Reed's attorneys, and argued those witnesses should be barred from her upcoming retrial.
We have witnesses that were wholly portrayed as independent. When we look at the testimony, it was represented many times in court, leaving the impression that the defense had no access and no special relationship.
If the defense brings in an expert witness, they are almost always going to be paid. So that shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. It's absolutely true. If the defense paid them, they should have discovered that to the prosecution.
I don't think it's the defense that's creating ghosts, illusions, and shields here.
Karen Reed's attorneys fighting back against the allegations today, arguing that they were unaware that they would be billed by ARCA, which is an accident recreation firm that defense attorneys said throughout her case were independent expert witnesses.
The defense position is that there was absolutely no meeting of the minds that ARCA was going to be compensated by the defense. So here's the punchline, Your Honor, with the invoice. Came out of the blue. It came out of the blue.
Mr. Brennan.
In a hearing last week, Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan read out loud email messages exchanged between defense attorney Alan Jackson and ARCA employee Dr. Daniel Wolf.
So my specialty in the area of lighting and human factors results in a lot of my cases involving pedestrians. Pretty important stuff in this case. And then he comments, if you don't want me to say this, that's fine. That's fine. Shh. Don't tell them.
The defense did not deny the messages, but says all communication was done through proper channels. Dr. Wolf had been a key witness for the defense during trial, testifying that John O'Keefe's fatal head injuries were not consistent with getting hit by a car, and saying the damage to Reed's taillight didn't line up with the prosecution's theory.
In your expert opinion, based on all your testing, is the damage to the taillight that you saw consistent with striking a human head?
No.
In your expert opinion, is the damage to the taillight consistent with striking a human arm?
No.
During the trial, Dr. Wolf was also questioned about his relationship with the defense.
You haven't been paid by the defense?
You have not paid us anything, no.
And you don't work for us?
That's correct.
That's correct. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, no. And you don't work for us? You have not paid us anything, As a matter of fact, I've never asked you specific questions about your testing before today.
That is correct.
Free Karen Read!
The high-profile murder case consuming and dividing the community.
Justice for JJ!
And sending many on social media into a frenzy.
Is she being framed in an elaborate cover-up involving corrupt cops? Or did she back up into her boyfriend and leave him for dead?
Free Karen Read!
At times, Karen Read supporters swarming the courthouse.
But this one has turned into a salacious soap opera of a case. From the very beginning, emotions are running high.
It all started on a Friday night in January 2022. Read and O'Keefe drinking with their friends at a local bar. Later that night, Read says she last saw John O'Keefe after dropping him off at an after-party at a fellow Boston police officer's home. She says she awoke in the middle of the night and he wasn't home.
I called a few of his buddies, their wives.
In fact, no one had seen him, so she says she goes back to look for him in the car.
Now I have an immense sense of dread, like a fright in me that I have not experienced before.
Do you expect to see him like lying on the street drunk?
Yeah.
Or passed out?
I was worried he might have gotten hit by a plow.
Read meets up with some of John's friends, and they all return to the house where the after party was, and then she spots him in the snow.
His eyes were shut, and he had spots of blood in different areas on his face, and he was still. Not stiff, but still.
John O'Keefe is soon declared dead, but the investigation is about to explode. Investigators finding pieces of a taillight they say are from Read's car at the crime scene, alleging those pieces broke off after she hit O'Keefe with the car.
I was talking to my best friend on the phone, and I said, there's a lot of cops circling. And I said, I think I'm gonna get arrested.
Read was later charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, and leaving the scene, and pleaded not guilty.
Would you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
Could you have been angry enough and slightly drunk because he had annoyed you that in the fit of rage you just backed up and
Never.
tried to tap him?
I would never.
Not to try to kill him, but try to
tap him with my 6,000-pound full-size SUV. To hit John's body with my car, no.
In the months leading up to the trial, Read's defense team argued in hearings and filings a stunning new theory that the injuries on O'Keefe's body were not consistent with him being hit by a car. They claimed she was framed.
There are people in that house that are actually responsible for his death and who murdered him. And there are others in the house who are covering up that murder.
The prosecution insisting that no one at the party had anything to do with O'Keefe's death, and they denied that Read was being framed. The homeowner testified in the trial, contradicting Read's account.
And at no point in time over the course of that evening or the early morning there did John O'Keefe or Karen Read physically come into your house.
John O'Keefe and Karen Read never entered my house.
The defense questioning the lead investigator, State Trooper Michael Proctor, on the stand in an attempt to discredit the investigation, asking him to read aloud derogatory texts he sent about Read.
If you could just read the responses from yourself, sir.
Okay, so these came from me. She's a whack job. Yes, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass.
What, if any, impact did that have as far as your investigation was concerned regarding this?
These juvenile, unprofessional comments have zero impact on the facts and the evidence and the integrity of this investigation.
After the trial, Proctor was suspended without pay. The Massachusetts State Police said there's an internal investigation into his conduct. But after 5 days of jury deliberations, no verdict.
I'm declaring a mistrial in this case.
Family and friends remembering John, the son who always dreamed of being a police officer.
He was lost in this whole circus, and I think none of us want him to be lost. So I think we were all waiting for it to be finally over, so we can finally grieve.
I mean, that could be another 18 months.
It could be another 5 years.
And we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All rise, please.
In November, Read appealed to the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court, arguing she shouldn't be retried on 2 of the 3 charges because of double jeopardy.
The defense is arguing that after that verdict was rendered, multiple, to the tune of 5 jurors supposedly reached out to the defense in one way, shape, or form, saying that was not our verdict. We were conclusive as to 2 of the 3 charges.
Her request was denied. The court ruling that the jury had said they did not reach a unanimous verdict during deliberations. Reed has since appealed to a federal judge. Her retrial is set to begin in April.
Our thanks to Matt. When we come back, the son of Superman star Christopher Reeve, ABC's own Will Reeve, on a journey to connect with his late father, what he found along the way. Welcome back. We're about to join Will Reeve on a very special and deeply personal journey. Will, the son of Superman star Christopher Reeve, fulfilling a lifelong dream to connect to his late father by retracing his last real-life adventure with Mexico's gray whales.
My father was my hero. To millions, he was Superman. I idolized and miss a different Christopher Reeve. Dad. When I was a toddler, he filmed a documentary following the migration of the Pacific gray whale. My dad always lived a life of perpetual motion, epic adventure.
Let's go over and see him, see how he's been doing.
But this was his last great expedition before he was paralyzed when I was just 2 years old. He then died of complications from his injury when I was 12.
We're right above.
I've inherited some of my dad's sense of adventure and have carried it with me into my job as a correspondent for ABC News.
Will Reeve, he's there live in Doha.
I've gotten to travel the world telling stories.
This is the first time in 800 years that this volcano has erupted.
But this is the one that needs an ending.
This trip is something I've wanted to do for my whole life.
For 30 years now, I've dreamed of taking a journey to the last places he visited before his accident. The men who hosted my dad in those places have since died. So I found their sons and asked them to be my guides. I've always felt my father left something for me out there at the ends of the earth. Can I find it? This moment on the couch was a break for my dad, in the middle of his adventure shooting that gray whale documentary.
You know what was so cool is the way he just came to the bow and he just came up to see us.
Some of our most cherished times together involved watching his gray whale documentary, more times than I can count. It inspired me.
Let's go over and see him, see how he's been doing.
I was always begging my dad to come back here and ignoring the fact that he would not be able to once he was paralyzed in a wheelchair.
So now, finally, I'm making the trip for the both of us. We start on a remote stretch of dusty road in Baja, Mexico. The destination, San Ignacio Lagoon. I wanted to begin here because it's the last place my dad filmed before his accident.
You got it.
Dad had shared stories of a legendary fisherman here, Pachico Mayoral, my dad's host in San Ignacio. Pachico died over a decade ago, but I did some Googling and found his son Pancho, who's now running the family ecotourism business his father started.
Whale watching Pachicos. Hi, Pancho. Will Reeve.
Oh, you look like your father.
So do you.
I'm here with my dad, in a way. 30 years separate us, but this spot is where he went out on the water with Pancho's dad.
Do you remember my dad coming here?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you remember of it?
I gotta say, he was super cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gracias.
Hi, little one. And Mama's coming up, too.
See Mama Stale.
Oh, you're so close. Whoa. Come on.
It's moving to watch. It feels familiar. Dad may have been injured, but we were not broken. Our life at home was full of joy and laughter and play.
Now I'm a pious woman.
Thanks largely to my mom, Dana.
There is no Christopher Reeve without Dana Reeve. My dad's story is the one that gets told on its own, but his story is incomplete without hers.
A year and a half after my dad died, so did my mom. Lung cancer, despite never smoking. She was 44.
Watching how close the calves and the mothers are to each other, of course I feel a connection to my mom here as well.
As we grow up, we hang on to the stories passed down to us by our parents. The best ones contain lessons. I'm looking for the meaning behind this one, about these 40-foot-long prehistoric creatures and the magical lagoon where they hung out with my dad.
Hello. Oh, there's the eye. That's just gorgeous. Hi there. Come play over here. And here comes baby. Wow. Hi, baby. You're right here. This is insane. Woo. Hi, come on up. Oh, hello. 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 Oh my God. Wow. You're still here. It's just such a privilege to make contact with such a big other part of the world.
I was wondering if I were crazy and strange, reaching out, being like, hey, I want to come find my dad here, in a way. You didn't find that weird. You found that to be actually your experience.
It's a way to honor our fathers.
That's so, I feel the same way. I have the same experience.
I bet you do.
Not only do I not want my dad to be forgotten, but I don't want to forget my own dad.
I'm pretty honored you're visiting us here.
You're honored I'm visiting. It's an honor to be here. The honor is mine.
Our profound thanks to Will. Will Reeve, Finding My Father, airs Wednesday on ABC and streams the next day on Hulu. When we come back, Chappell Roan's famous blue sequin number, Hot to Go, to a new home for a good cause. And finally tonight, rock stars helping a good cause. Chappell Roan's blue sequined unitard from her Hot to Go video, fetching nearly $90,000 at Julian's Give a Frock auction, one of 3 items donated by the pop star. Dave Grohl's signed guitar, the Beastie Boys' Adidas tracksuits, and Sabrina Carpenter's hooded dress from the Please, Please, Please video, each netting tens of thousands. Just a few of the many superstar cast-offs donated to benefit LA wildfire victims. Indeed, a good cause. That's Nightline. You can watch all of our full episodes on Hulu. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night, America.